Peace, love, blessings, and good vibes. Welcome back, subscribers. Hello, visitors. Thank you for tuning in. All right, today's video topic is about energy. What is energy? And we're going to be looking at energy from a scientific standpoint, as well as from a metaphysical standpoint or a spiritual standpoint. So right now, I'm going to start off with the definition of energy. So energy is the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. So what is energy from a metaphysical or spiritual point of view? In spirituality, energy refers to a widespread belief in an interpersonal, non-physical force or essence. So I'm going to be sharing some examples about what that is a little later in the video. So right now we're going to take a look at the two. There are many types of energies. Let's put it that way. There are many types of energies, but the two main energies are kinetic and potential. So kinetic energy is something that is in the process of moving, or is actually going, is actually giving force. Potential energy means that an object has the potential to become kinetic energy. So it has the potential to become a moving force or an active force. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in just a little bit. So kinetic energy is the energy in moving objects or mass. Examples include mechanical energy, electrical energy, etc., so on and so forth. And potential energy is any form of energy that has stored potential that can be put to future use. I'm going to show you some examples right now. So some examples of kinetic energy are moving cars, a bullet from a gun, a flying airplane, walking, running. So that's kinetic energy. That's actual movement, right? And then I'm going to show you some examples of potential energy. For example, wheels on a roller skate, or wheels on roller skaters before someone skates. So now, I'm not going to be doing any skating or anything like that, but this is one of my roller skates. And I'm going to show you an example of potential energy. Now, check this out. I'm just, when I had these skates, I could have sworn that these stoppers were black. And now they're purple. Well, maybe that's just me. Now they're purple. I don't know, because I haven't been on these skates in quite some time. Normally when I skate, I take the stoppers off, but I'm going to let my cousin borrow the skates, and she put the stoppers. That's not here nor there. All right. So we have a roller skate here. Now, this roller skate is in its potential state. It's in potential energy, right? So this is considered potential energy. But once I put this skate on, or the skates on, and then I start to skate, and I start to move, now it's kinetic energy. Okay? Because I'm skating and I'm moving and I'm rolling on them. All right? So so right now, this is an example of potential energy. But if I put the skate on and I start to skate, now I'm in kinetic energy. All right? That's one example of potential energy. And another example of potential energy would be a stretched rubber band. So this would be potential energy. And another example, we could use a pool stick. It's the pool stick right before you move it, or right before you shoot the ball. So right now I'm in what is called potential energy, right? So when I move and when I push this stick, when I give this pool stick force, and I'm here and I'm about to hit the cue ball, and Boom. So once I move this pool stick and I hit the cue ball to hit the other ball on the table, to hit the other balls, that is kinetic energy once it moves. But right before I move it, right now I'm in potential energy because it has the potential, or it has the ability to move, right? Okay. So those are some examples of potential energy. And of course, some examples of kinetic energy is like a moving car, flying plane, running, walking, skipping, jumping, talking. So all of those are forms of kinetic energy. Potential energy is an object right before it is moved. All right. So now let's get into the metaphysics of energy, or the spiritual aspect of energy, which is what we're going to be focusing mainly on. So there are more than 4 types of spiritual energy. But for this video, we're only going to be taking a look at a total of 7. And I chose these particular 7 because these are the ones that I wanted to learn and know more about. Because I would hear all of these terms. Excuse me one second. Okay. Because I would hear all of these terms used, you know, once I got into my spiritual awakening and I started reading and studying more on, you know, spirituality and spiritual systems. These words I would see a lot. So now I want to learn more about these words. All right, prana. Prana is a Hindu word, or it comes from Hindu, and it means breath, considered as a life-giving force. And that is one example of a spiritual energy, prana. So you're breathing in prana. So you're breathing in life. You're breathing in, you're giving a life force. So chi, and chi derives from a Chinese word, and it's in China, in the definition of chi, and it talks about how in traditional Chinese culture, chi is believed to be a vital force forming part of any living entity, also known as energy flow. So when we talk about the chi and the energy flow, so when you're doing yoga and you're into these yoga poses, and there's also African yoga as well. But anyway, so it's always talking about the chi. So it's talking about the energy flow. So you want to get the energy flow going in the right direction. So you focus on the chi. You focus on that vital force, or that vital forming force that provides, or that is known as energy flow, or how your energy flows within your chakras. All right. So number 3, divine love. And this is taken from many different faiths, right? So divine love, to me, and this is my opinion about what divine love is. And to me, divine love isn't necessarily about loving everybody. But divine love is first about loving yourself, self-love, loving, you know, who you are, loving to take the time out for yourself and to take care of you and to take care of your needs, all right, and your wants and your desires. And it's not being selfish in any way, form, or fashion, because self-preservation is the first law of nature. So you have to take care of yourself first. You have to love yourself first before you can love others. So my definition of divine love is first self-love, loving you, loving yourself. And it's not necessarily, like I stated before, about loving anybody else, because in many Christian faiths, or in the Christian faith, they say that you must love everybody. And the Bible tells us that we must love our enemies as we love ourselves. But that, to me, is bogus. That doesn't make sense, because why would you love someone who hates you? to me, that really doesn't set right with me, doesn't set right with my spirit. So I'm not going to give my love to an individual or to individuals who hate my guts. Why would I do that? That's not common sense to me. That's not using common sense. All right. So that's my take on divine love. All right, number 4. We're talking about Mother Earth. Total respect for all things of the earth. And that's also a part of energy. So that's loving the plants, the grass, the oceans, the animals. You know, having a respect for the planet in general. Having a respect for the earth that we live on and taking care of the earth and not littering and just keeping the earth clean. That's also an example of spiritual energy. Number 5, Kundalini or yoga, Kundalini yoga. Now, a lot of times you hear this term within the spiritual, within the, what's the word I'm looking for? Within the spiritual community, I should say. You hear about Kundalini, the Kundalini energy, chakras, all of those things like go together. So Kundalini yoga talks about energy that lies dormant at the base of the spine until it is activated as by the practice of yoga and channeled upward through the chakras in the process of spiritual perfection. And Kundalini is believed to be the power associated with the divine feminine. Number 6, meditation. There are several meditation techniques that allow you to tap into spiritual energy, and many believe meditation can create transformation and even lead to enlightenment. And this is something that you will probably have to dedicate your life to every single day. It's just finding some time out of your busy day, your busy life, your busy schedule to set aside at least maybe 30 minutes or an hour a day to really connect with yourself, connect with your soul, and to meditate. And this is something that I have to get back into doing because I just have more time over the summer months to do this. But when you're kind of working and you're busy and you're so confined with your everyday routine and your everyday life, you know, you really have to set some time aside to meditate. And that is also a form of spiritual energy. And number 7, and I chose number 7. I chose this one because I found it to be very interesting, because I had no idea that acupuncture could be considered a spiritual energy. Because it says here about acupuncture, it says that it is a centuries-old medical practice that is used to open up blocked chakras or quietens overactive energy channels and chakras within the body's electrical energy system. So in acupuncture, just in case you're not familiar with it, it's where they take the needles and they have specific points on the body where they pinpoint, like if you're having some aches or pains, you know, or you're having, you know, issues with certain areas within your body, they take those needles and they put them in those specific points in those specific body parts to help alleviate or rid the pain or the stress. And I've seen acupuncture done once, because back in the day, I used to work in the massage therapy field, and I used to be a massage therapist, but I've not done acupuncture before. But I knew of a person at that particular time that I worked with who knew acupuncture, and they knew how to do acupuncture. So I watched them put the needles into the person's body, and they had like specific body parts that they focused on within the back area. So that was quite an experience for me. That was interesting. I've never had acupuncture done on me before, but as I stated a few seconds ago, I have seen it done personally up close and personal. But I just focused on Swedish massage and deep tissue massage. That was my thing. But anyway, so, and that is, and acupuncture can also be considered a spiritual form of energy, or a spiritual energy form, which was quite interesting. So, moving on, spiritual energy is described by many different names in different cultures. This energy is considered a universal life force or a spiritual source of energy that exists in all living matter. So in all human beings, we have energy. We have energy fields. We have energy that we put forth and that we put out within ourselves. So like if you're putting out negative energy, just remember that that negative energy is going to come right back to you. If you're putting out positive energy, that positive energy is going to come right back to you. So what I'm doing now, I'm putting out positive energy and positive vibes, because that's my thing now. Whenever I come on YouTube and you click on this channel, if you can last throughout the duration of the video, but at the beginning I always say peace, love, and blessings, good vibes. So basically that is a condensed summary or a condensed lesson on energy, what energy is. And remember, the two main energies are kinetic and potential, and I showed you examples of that. And I chose 7 types of spiritual energies or metaphysic energies, you know, to focus on and to talk about and to give examples of as well. So that's the condensed version of energy. Thank you for watching. Peace, love, blessings, and good vibes. Until next time. Stay tuned. I've got a lot more coming up, and I've got a lot more summaries that I'm going to get into, and some things that I want to share, and some examples of things that I have to come. Still haven't forgotten about the tarot reads. So next tarot read I'll do is for director Lena Waithe. All right. So peace, good vibes, much love to those of you out there who are showing love to others. All right. Peace.